human rights.
Rebecca Stein.
Leanne.
And our project is called the Queen's Canopy. The Aberdeen City Council hosted us for 2 weeks in a workshop with SACD and the local architecture department, Robert Gordon University. We learned about the history of Aberdeen and the presence of granite that was once a local material source. Queen Street was at the center of the city and bordered by several historical structures such as Marshall's College and the Arts Center. The street had a very low foot traffic and was mainly used as a vehicular thoroughway. There was no seating conditions or moments for the public to gather. At the center of the site was a tower that served as a police station. Its structure and facade was a point of severe criticism among the council members. Our team wanted to create a space where the people could provide a multitude of social pauses and would stimulate nightlife in the city center with minimal evening activities. We designed a pavilion that would reflect the motion of a wave in reference to the proximity of the coast. The pavilion would be a city landmark and a nighttime destination for large events such as concerts, shows, and festivals, while providing a more casual social setting of a local market similar to Armature Works in Tampa. We proposed to remove the police station after a series of light studies that we placed on our own tower on the northeast point of our site to allow for a proposed garden spaces to have maximum light exposure. The tower continues like a wave motion of the pavilion and is primarily residential. The top floor is a premier sky bar and restaurant that provides a unique social setting with views of the city and coastline. At the southern edge of the site, we designed a garden and park of the senses, with lavender, fruit trees, and a skate park. The harsh weather conditions of Aberdeen influenced our botanical cafe as we wanted a year-round experience of a park regardless of low temperatures, rain, or snow. The project was named Queen's Canopy to emphasize the shelter it provides at the center of the city. It is meant to be a destination as means of attracting tourists and exponentially increasing nightlife. The council had doubts about the use of strong colors in the city, so we decided on a blue tinted glass, subtle yellow stained concrete, and a lush presence of greenery to define the area as new and inviting part of the city.
Of the Queen Street was show a site analysis was done to determine the area with the maximum sun exposure for the green zone, and the shadow cast by the surrounding building at the points of the day and the year will document it and study to produce a final diagram. So each diagram was to show start from the whole year, from January to December, to show the different shadow green, like different situation in this area. Let us know what kind of space we can using for different functional, and move to those things to diagram as to show the Queen Street's connection and the surrounding program. So the connection was told us like basically the Queen Street has connect to Union Street and to the King Street. They has this road kind of like that zone. They just service with the police station before, so we try to create like a pedestrian in there, and also like the second pathway can connect each other to go to the Marshall Council, and this diagram will show like a different functional surround our site. It's talking about the residential and the service and the restaurant and the shopping or retail around our site. Also, we create the diagram for the day occupied and the night occupied distribution in this diagram. It shows how the people, we propose how the when the program done, how the people using our site, like between the daylight and the night lights. And also this diagram will show like a different type of people to use the area. For example, like children and the teenage and adults and the young adults would kind of like distribute like each different area in the zone to serve service with those different age and type of people. And this diagram will show we was to use the section of our garden to show like different plants we're gonna using for and the material we're gonna using for the area. For example, we was create like a test zone and a smell zone, like give more like sense to people. Like we proposed grows like a red apple tree and the lavender in the different type in the different area, and also we try to use the local materials like white concrete and the vintage wood to bring the Aberdeen memory back to our site.
So a major decision that we made was to close off the street to traffic and make it a strictly pedestrian-friendly street. So it's no longer going to be a road, but we had one access route that you can see in this rendering here. That's at the northwest street side. And we did this because we wanted it to be a very public zone. We wanted it to not be a dead zone in the center of the city. And we realized that there was not a lot of space that allowed for a multitude of activities within one area in the heart of the city. And I'll start with the program. So the Sky Tower was one of our major nightlife structures. It was mainly to create a premium space, and also the height of the building was very important because we were told that there were no places that were high up enough to see the coastline and see the city and for you to socialize. The concert hall was combined into the pavilion with the Queen's Market, and this is where the canopy combines the two of them and also goes up to the tower. And this was meant to be an event space, so this is for both daytime and nighttime, but strictly mainly nighttime. And it would hold concerts that are targeted towards young adults and adults. And the market space, we based it off of one of our precedent studies, which is Armchair Works. And it was market hall that's in the center of Tampa. And it was a very unique space because it combined a lot of local places into one. And it allows for local produce, it allows for socializing in the nighttime with eating, drinking. And it was a very good space that we thought would do very well in Aberdeen. The Botanical Cafe, this came about because of the harsh weather conditions in Aberdeen, and we wanted this park that we created to be able to be enjoyed even if it's a harsh weather condition, if the temperatures are too low for you to be outside. So we created an interior park basically with cafe at the bottom floor. And this is combined with the council, which would house part of the council. The orchard and lavender garden was to bring in the sense of taste, smell, and then also we had a skate park bordering it, which brought in sound as well. So it's basically a play on the senses at this side of our site. And the lavender garden is very lush, it's very intense, so we're hoping that it would create an intense memory of the space. And that would trigger your notion of the whole space and make you remember this site. And the skate park is targeting an age group which is, I think is very important, which is teenagers. And it's creating a lot of activity inside and along with the kids park. And we've done the demographics so that we balanced it so that every age group would enjoy. And so we created a teenage zone at this corner of the site. And yeah, and then in these sections, when we thought of it sectionally, we wanted a lot of permeability for you to be able to come from Castle Gate, to be able to come from all sides and be able to enter the site. So we had several pedestrian pathways that we created and that are wrapped around to the main Broad Street. And yeah. We had one major pedestrian route that ran through the street from Broad Street to Northwest Street. And this was a large open gathering space that was more of a busy social setting. So we created several smaller paths that allowed for a more private and intimate experience of the site. And this would allow for a person who's there with a book, who's on a date, or just a very different, unique experience of the site. And with buffers of greenery, the orchard, and the lavender garden. And we had another route that we wanted to do was an art mural wall. And this guided you around the back end of the market. And we had a light garden right next to it with this is a wall of mirrors this side and a wall of graffiti on this side. So it was just a very strong art experience that is very condensed into this space. And we had paths also that led you into Marshall Square, into the center of this space. And we were thinking that this could be an extension to Lemon Tree, which is a beef production place. And we wanted it to have exterior shows or like exterior events inside of this space. So that's why I want to be able to guide people around the building. And
so also we want to talking about the building functional. So we redesigned the townhouse. So before that was the original townhouse. So it's then they was extended to here. So we was take this new part out and redesign the same the new building here. So give like so when you walk by to along with the Broad Street, you will literally see the front of the view of the townhouse, the new townhouse. So also we bring the functional back. So also that building is like a 4 to 5 story high building. So we give a space for the council. They also can use it for working. And then also I want to talking about the tower. So basically we designed the tower is kind of like 150 feet high, kind of like 12 or to 13 story high building. The first floor and the first and the second story is retail and a restaurant, and the above is residential, and in the top is our sky bar to give like a view and a really good view for the visiting and enjoy the night life.